Sri Ramakrishna sat in the drawing room with the devotees. Mohendra Mukherjee, Hori, the younger Noreen, and many other devotees were there. Hori lived alone and studied Vedanta. He was about 23 years old and unmarried. Sri Ramakrishna was very fond of him. He wanted Hori to visit him frequently. But since Hori loved solitude, he did not often come to the master. Master to Hori. Well, I haven't seen you for a long time. You see, in one form, he is the absolute, and in another, he is the relative. What does Vedanta teach? Brahman alone is real and the world is illusory. Isn't that so? But as long as God keeps the ego of a devotee in a man, the relative is also real. When he completely effaces the ego, then what is remains. That cannot be described by the tongue. But as long as God keeps the ego, one must accept all. By removing the outer sheaths of the plantain tree, you reach the inner pith. As long as the tree contains sheaths, it also contains pith. So too, as long as it contains pith, it also contains sheaths. The pith goes with the sheaths and the sheaths go with the pith. In the same way, when you speak of the Nitya, it is understood that the Leela also exists. And when you speak of the Leela, it is understood that the Nitya also exists. It is He alone who has become the universe, living beings, and the 24 cosmic principles. When He is actionless, I call Him Brahman. When He creates, preserves, and destroys, I call Him Shukti. Brahman and Shukti are not different from each other. Water is water, whether it is still or moving. It is not possible to rid oneself of I consciousness. As long as one is aware of this I consciousness, one cannot speak of the universe and its living beings as unreal. You cannot get the correct weight of the bale fruit if you leave out its shell and pits. The brick, lime, and brick dust of which the stairs are made are the same brick, lime, and brick dust of which the roof is made. The universe and its living beings exist on account of the reality of Him who is known as Brahman. The devotees, I mean the Vijnanis, accept both God with form and the formless. both the personal God and the impersonal. In a shoreless ocean, an infinite expanse of water, visible blocks of ice are formed here and there by intense cold. Similarly, under the cooling influence, so to say, of the deep love of its worshipper, the infinite reduces itself to the finite and appears before the worshipper as God with form. Again, as on the rising of the sun, the ice melts away, so on the awakening of knowledge, God with form melts away into the same infinite and formless. As long as a man analyzes with the mind, he cannot reach the absolute. As long as you reason with your mind, you have no way of getting rid of the universe and the objects of the senses. Form, taste, smell, touch and sound. When the reasoning stops, you attain the knowledge of Brahman. Atman cannot be realized through this mind. Atman is realized through Atman alone. Pure mind, pure buddhi, pure Atman. All these are one and the same. Just think how many things you need to perceive an object. You need eyes. You need light. You need mind. You cannot perceive the object if you leave out any of these three. As long as the mind functions, how can you say that the universe and the I do not exist? When the mind is annihilated, when it stops deliberating pro and con, then one goes into samadhi. One attains the knowledge of Brahman. You know the 7 notes of the scale. Sa, re, ga, ma, pa, dha, ni. One cannot keep one's voice on ni very long.